Looks like you're getting ready to redecorate.
Oh, yes, I am. As a matter of fact, the next time I take a business trip, I think I'll have this whole place redone.
By the time it's finished, it should do very nicely. I would imagine that waterfront property like this is very valuable.
Yes, it is. But as you well know, it still takes money to make money.
Funny, we were just saying the same thing. The secret to success is getting in on the ground floor.
Yes.
Show me a man who recognizes a good thing at the start, and I'll show you a moneymaker.
It's a very astute observation, Alan. May I ask, is that why you wanted to see me? Do you have what you consider a sure thing?
Well, it's funny you should ask that.
Well, I have a certain intuition when it comes to making money. What have you got in your mind?
Focus on, if you will.
Sure.
These are just rough sketches. But properly built and equipped, this is a floating showroom, capable of going around the world.
I can see that this is a ship, all right. But I'm still a little lost.
Allow me to explain.
All right.
These areas here are working operating rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And here in the forward end of the ship, we would set up displays of the latest hospital and surgical equipment.
Staffed with fully trained technicians.
The equipment would naturally be available for sale.
At a very big profit.
Of course.
Yes. Now, what we envision is taking the ship from major port to major port all around the world. While in port, we invite the local doctors and hospital purchasing agents to come and see our displays and encourage them to place orders.
Now, of course, this ship is going to attract a great deal of publicity, but the most important thing is we're going to sell a lot of equipment.
Which we would purchase here and ship at a profit.
And as I said before, it would be a very big profit.
Any questions thus far?
No, I'm sure I'll have some later, but I must tell you my initial reaction is highly favorable. As a matter of fact, I think you do have a sure thing here.
So would you be interested in backing it financially?
And as the principal backer, sharing in the profits, naturally.
Naturally. Off the top of my head, I'd say yes. I'm extremely interested.
You are?
Definitely. I'm sure there's going to be an initial and sizable outlay of cash, but after we do some preliminary estimates, I'll have my business manager take a look at them.
I dare say I don't think you'd regret getting in on this.
Oh, I'm sure I won't. Believe me, I'm sure I won't. Look, let's leave it like this. I'll show these sketches to my business affairs people. They'll come up with some figures. I'll get back to you. Fair enough?
Oh, more than fair. In fact, Alan, I'm encouraged.
So am I.
You should be. Let me tell you, gentlemen, something. The three of us are on the threshold of making some very big money. And I do mean big, for all of us. And I want to thank you both for bringing this to me.
It's a pleasure.
We thank you. We'll wait for your call then.
Oh, you'll hear from me. Probably by Thursday. I'll keep in touch. Morgan? Were you listening?
Yeah, I heard most of it.
Take a look at these sketches when you have a moment, huh? I think we can buy an existing ship, refurbish it for the minimum amount of outlay.
You can't be serious. You want to invest in a floating hospital?
A floating laundry is more to the point.
Come again?
I mean, Sam, this just fell into our laps. I mean, when we start selling off that treasure, we're going to have a tremendous amount of cash coming in. And this ship, along with the sale of that medical paraphernalia, is the perfect conduit for this cash.
I never thought of that.
Well, I did, and I also thought of something else. There are certain Aztec items that we'll want to sell individually. Now, this ship goes around the world. Our buyers are around the world. Don't you get the picture?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I must admit, I was wrong when I beefed about coming down here to Port Charles. Everything's working out to be just perfect.
And my old friend Robert Scorpio said I'd do well here. How right he was.
Apparently you had quite a good day.
What would make you think that?
Well, you're not growling. Does that mean you got something out of the private investigator in Miami?
Well, I had a talk to him. Didn't learn too much.
But I wouldn't worry about Mr. Garvey. By the time I'm finished with him, I'm going to nail his pelt to the wall. What about your day?
Spent most of it with Bobby. And with Jake. He has a new lead. But then I suppose you already know that.
What lead?
Well, mostly it boils down to the fact there was a thief in the area of the penthouse the night of the murder.
Oh, yeah. Bert mentioned something about that. Character called Becker. Apparently we have him in custody.
I know. Jake's really banking on this as a big break in the case.
Well, we won't know if it's a big break or not until tomorrow, till we start to talk to this person. Incidentally, I'm going to have Jake in to help me question Becker.
Did you talk to Ruby? I know you planned to.
She came into the office.
And?
Well, she was certainly very willing to talk about her days in Florida with Bobby. And she wanted to be helpful.
Well, was she?
No. Oh, there was a flicker there when we started to talk about Florida, but no solid information. Certainly nothing that Brock could have found out about Bobby's life that he could have used against her, and nothing that would have motivated her to want to kill him.
Well, that fits right in with what I think Jake's plan of defense should be.
What?
Lack of motive.
Ah, but you are forgetting something, my dear. That is Brock's uncontrollable temper. I mean, that guy couldn't have been easy to live with.
Bad enough for a wife to murder him.
The DA will try to make that case.
And I'll use the tape as a backup. But who's going to believe all that stuff about Bobby and Rick Webber? I mean, it's going to be awfully hard to take that seriously, especially with Brock's reputation for irrationality.
Still, I'd like to find some solid evidence, something which would clear her entirely without any shadow of a doubt.
She's very lucky, you know. Most police commissioners would be hell-bent on establishing a case against her. At least you're impartial.
Well, she's still a citizen and entitled to my protection. Just because she's been accused doesn't mean to say she's lost her rights.
Do you think you're going to be able to help her?
I'm going to try. Starting with this Garvey person. I want to know why Brock retained him and what he reported.
Well, do you think he'll volunteer then?
Not from Florida, he won't. That's why we're making some special arrangements to bring him here to Port Charles. Where I intend to lean on Mr. Garvey, lean on him hard. It's my best lead.